Good morning, good morning, good morning, America. My name is unimportant, but it's very important this morning and for this video that I'm gonna record. My name is Diego Don Juan, and it's really Diego Don Juan, one word, Donjuan, one word. My name is Diego Don Juan, and I want to keep America as great as it's been. I am running for president. I need to raise $5,000 real quick so that I could get in this. Maybe I could run as an independent. Maybe we could start a new movement. When the Civil War ended, Americans, we don't know our history as much and as well as we should. America is the greatest nation on earth. Some people say America is the Great Babylon. I strongly disagree. I think America is the promised land. I think America is the land of milk and honey. And I have faith in America. We will win. We will prevail. But I am a black conservative. But I'm also a brown conservative. See some of the other videos on my channel. All Americans, we're already at that point. We're all just different shades of brown. We do have different races all over this country that wants to encourage and fuel a race war. I was born in Chicago, Illinois back in the 70s. I had a really hard life. And who knows, man? Not even who knows. I'm probably not qualified to be the president. But somebody's got to do it. And Generation X, we failed America. And we got to do something to save America. I'm 45 years old. And I can't believe I'm not registered as a Republican. It's not my fault. It's the Republican Party's fault. The Republican Party has been turned into a shit show my entire life. Every year it gets worse. Every year it gets crazier. And every Republican we got, with the exception of the Bushes, every Republican president in my life, were they really Republicans? We had Ronald Reagan for all those years. Ronald Reagan, a Hollywood actor, converted to Republican late in life, just like Trump. Look it up. Trump wasn't a Republican most of his life. He was a Democrat more than he was a Republican. He switched parties 5 times. And he said that thing about, oh, I'm going to trick the Republicans. If I ever run, I'll run as a Republican because they're easy to fool. We're not easy to fool. We're desperate. If you can say, I'm not a MAGA Republican, that's for sure. And even though I supported Trump for years, I was never MAGA. And I never liked that term, make America great again. America is greater than it's ever been. The news media lies to us. You look it up. Go look it up. There is not one stat. I mean, a few stats when you think about fentanyl or something like that. But America was doing much worse 100 years ago. It is now 2024. Look at what was going on in 1924. Everybody's lying. All media is just propaganda, but the propaganda has gotten out of control. It seems like you can only get any kind of traction in politics if you're a lunatic. You have to be the most extreme person. And again, as a black conservative, I'm not heartbroken at this point. At this point, I'm pissed off. Why does every black conservative sound like Candace Owens, Larry Elder, Jesse Lee Peterson? I can name the Hodge twins. And these people are lying. They lie. They love to say Chicago is worse than it's ever been. That's not true at all. Again, look what was going on 100 years ago. Was the murder rate in Chicago higher in 2023 or in 1923? Look at what was going on 100 years ago. War worlds, the Great Depression, the Prohibition era, the gangster era of the 20s, the roaring 20s. STDs exploding, drug use exploding. Everything was happening 100 years ago. America's not worse than it's ever been. It's better than it's ever been. But this contention, the way the media, and not just mainstream media now, social media. You can't get any traction on social media unless you're extreme and insane. Please watch the movie Idiocracy. Please watch the movie Idiocracy and tell me that's not what America's been turned into. Every year, politics has turned into a sporting event. Woo, my team. Woo, my team. And Trump, he can't go too far. Who are these MAGA Republicans? I don't believe them. I don't believe they're American patriots. I think that Russia has infiltrated the Republican Party. Since when? Since when? Why? What? I don't understand it. I've been conservative my whole life. I've always preferred the Republicans. I love the Republican parties. I love Abraham Lincoln. I was so proud of that history. I studied the Civil War and studied Abraham Lincoln. He was our American hero now. And now when people think Republican, they don't even think Abraham Lincoln, the first Republican, the grand old party, the man that really sacrificed to save this country, a man that really loved the Bible, a man that read the Bible and believed in the Bible. This is a Judeo-Christian country. It is. It still is, and it still can be. I can't believe this. Please, Republicans, wake up. Like I say, I'm running for president. It's not going to happen. It's a long shot. I really am from Chicago, and I grew up rough, man. I drove trucks for 20 years, and saving trucks saved my life, man. I got my life saved so many times. I wasn't blessed. I was actually a criminal, man. I got in lots of trouble as a teenager, man. But at least I got my crime spree out the way early. Lots of these people, they're politicians, they've never been arrested or never had a conviction. That don't mean that they're not criminals. A lot of them are way more criminal than I was at 18. I was 18. I had an excuse. Not an excuse, but more of an excuse for an 80-year-old man or a 70-year-old man talking about grabbing women. He's supposed to represent the Republican Party, talking about grabbing and groping women. And he's braggadocious. He claims to be a Christian, claims to worship God, but he clearly worships himself. He thinks he is God. He thinks he's the Messiah. And things are serious. It's serious enough for me to run for president and run hard. And not, again, I'm not planning on winning. I'm only 45 years old. My name is you know, who am I to most people? And as I mentioned, I got a record. But again, I got it out of my system earlier. By the time I was 30, I was a grown man, a mature man. And I have paid back my debt to society. I served my country not as a military person, even though I tried. I tried to join the military. September 11th happened, I tried. I kept trying. Anytime America came close to going to war, I tried. Because that's how important this country is. And again, the memory of Abraham Lincoln makes me want to curse. But I'm not going to curse because I'm talking politics here. I'm talking about saving the country. But it makes me want to curse to think that the party of Abraham Lincoln, he was shot in the head by a Confederate. Now Trump has these rallies where you see some of these rallies, Confederate flags wall to wall. They're Confederate flags that say Trump on it, and Trump hasn't spoke out against that. Trump hasn't said, hey, this is the Republican Party. Don't disrespect Abraham Lincoln and Ulysses S. Grant like that. Bring a Confederate flag to a damn Republican rally, party, whatever. You're letting Confederates take over the Republican Party, the party of Lincoln, the party of the Black Republicans, the party of Reconstruction. We're really going to vote to the segregationists as Republicans, and Black Republicans especially. Black Republicans, step away from Trump. He went way too far. Candace Owens is very entertaining. Seen a lot of her videos. And I agree with her about 80%, but that 20%, that MAGA stuff, that red pill stuff, that ain't for us, man. Christians, Jews, anybody who loves the Bible. We were mistaken. Those of us that once supported Trump, even though we knew better. But we kept saying it's better. And that's the problem. Both of these parties have ruined this country in the voting. It's always one horrible candidate versus another horrible candidate. It starts out with all these candidates. It could have been so many people to win this nomination. Now it's Trump versus Haley. We got to vote for Haley, man. She has to win the nomination. Now you're a traitor. Somehow, everything that MAGA has done has perverted reality and what Republicans are supposed to stand for. Now you're a traitor if you don't support the people that stormed the Capitol. The people that stormed the Capitol, that was the day of the election or the day after the election? They didn't let no legal processes. I'm ranting and raving, but it's serious. It is that serious. Everybody's joking around, talking about Trump is funny. It's not funny. There's global tension. They're talking about wars with other countries. Countries are at wars. Our enemies and our allies are at war. And we're going to have Trump arguing with Putin or maybe agreeing with Putin. I don't want Russia controlling us like that. I don't want Russia, no. No. So I'm running for president, Diego Don Juan. What are my talking points? Keep America great, not make America great again. America's greater than it's ever been. Study the statistics. You people are being ridiculous of demonizing America. America has done more for freedom. The Bible has done more for freedom. We talk ridiculous. People talk about slavery in the Bible. The Bible was anti-slavery. And the Bible has done more to end slavery. The Bible was probably the first book that we could prove that was anti-slavery. What happens to people that put people in slavery? What is the punishment for people putting people in slavery? What happened to people that enslave people in the Bible? Can you go to the kingdom of heaven after you carry slaves and have slaves? People demonize Jefferson and let these people get away with everything. I can't believe it's going to be Trump versus Biden again. An 80-year-old against an 81-year-old. Hey, Siri, how old is Donald Trump?
Donald Trump is 77 years old.
So it's going to be a 78-year-old versus an 81-year-old. Generation X, we have failed. We have failed, man. We have failed, Generation X. And Generation X is the goofy MAGAs out there, laughing and giggling at this stuff. This is the president of the United States. He curses more and more, gets emboldened more and more. Nothing is too far for these maggots. The Make America Great Again Trump supporters. Maggots. M-A-G-A-T-A. Republican Party is such a joke these days. Donald Trump, Andrew Schultz, or not Andrew Schultz, why did I say the comedian and not the damn bald-headed dude that got arrested in Romania? All these red pill people. Candace Owens is ridiculous. Yes, she's prim, she's proper, she dresses well, she speaks well, but some of those words, we just so shallow. We look at people's appearance. All the great Americans that have died for this. Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, Malcolm X, all the civil rights leaders. And Trump, he says, in my opinion, he says things that disrespects the hell out of Abraham Lincoln. He always saying he was the most persecuted president of all time. More persecuted than the man that was shot in the head by a damn Confederate? Abraham Lincoln? You were more persecuted than Abraham Lincoln? And you're better than Abraham Lincoln. I've heard the man say it himself, and nobody calls him out on it. Better than Lincoln. Better than Ulysses S. Grant. How dare you? How dare you? How dare anybody in this modern era say such ignorant stuff? Honest Abe. Trump is no Honest Abe. And we know it. You know it. Even if you're MAGA, you know it. The first time I was really glad and relieved that Biden actually won the election is when Putin invaded Ukraine. How would that scenario have played out if Trump was president? Either one or two things. Either one, he would have said, don't invade Ukraine, because that's what we say as Americans. We're supposed to back up Ukraine. So he would have either said, don't mess with Ukraine, and then him and Putin would have had a pissing contest. Do you want that? We're supposed to be conservative. What is conservative about Trump? Ever. He's supposed to be a fiscal conservative, but he wasn't. He was spending money like I can't say no foul jokes, but he was spending money like crazy. Not a fiscal conservative at all. He had some great business policies, great tax breaks. He was giving out business. He did some great things, fiscally speaking. But that's not what makes a conservative. What about religious conservatives? What about moral conservatives? The most important part to me. He's supposed to be saving us morality, and then people want to blame it on the culture wars. Trump was on that left as far as the culture wars goes. Like I say, when the hell was Trump talking about the Bible and religion and Christianity? What kind of Christian is he? Somebody needs to grill him on that. People don't question him. And again, that dictator for a day stuff. Why is everybody giggling at that? Why is everybody, I can't understand the stuff they minimize. They minimize grabbing the body of a JJ. They minimize some of the insanity, the COVID stuff. They minimized some of the crazy things that was going on with him in other countries. This whole mess that we're in with China, they want to blame everybody but Trump for that. Putin got bold, talking about he wouldn't have tried that with Trump. Well, what about all the other stuff he did while Trump was in office with the other little former Soviet countries? Putin has been running amok, and he's a dictator over there. How long has he been in power? He had beef with every president. He had beef with Obama before Trump. He had beef with Bush before Obama. He had beef with Clinton. Well, no, maybe not Clinton. Maybe not going that far back, but look at history. Now, like I say, Trump would have either told Putin, don't do it, don't invade Ukraine, and then what? What if he would have did it? Or he would have went the other route and sided with Putin. What would the world look like if he sided with Putin? A lot of people would like that. A lot of these MAGA Republicans, I don't get them at all, man. I don't get them at all. They're mad. They don't want the American military siding with Israel. Since when? They don't want America siding with Ukraine. Since when? And these stupid memes. So yeah, I'm running for president. I really do. I didn't talk about any of my talking points or my policies. Now, I don't know what I could do as president, but I got some propositions. And the main reason I'm running is to get these ideas out of here. We got a problem with our young men. If you're 18 years old and you're not going to college, you're not getting a good job and paying taxes, we need to not make military 100% mandatory, but push it a little bit more. These kids think they know everywhere. They think they know everything, and they've been nowhere. Our kids, everybody's a genius and smart all. That's one reason that the politics are so skewed. The right don't want to talk to the left and vice versa because things have gotten so crazy, man. Trump is the most persecuted. He says he's the most persecuted president ever. Really? Who was the president before you? Obama? Really? The Tea Party? The effigies? Fox News saying some of the crazy things when he was running? More persecuted than Obama, who got more death threats than all presidents combined, had more people breaking into the White House, all kind of things that the FBI stopped. And what about before him? Bush. You ain't one more persecuted than Bush, and you wasn't more pressured than Bush. Bush came through. Bush wasn't very popular before September 11th. And people, I never hated Bush that much, but I miss Bush. I miss Bush. And the next video I make about this subject, I will talk about my policies and my ideas.